Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. With me today is Lance Tatum, Senior Vice Chancellor here at Troy University, here to talk a little bit about COVID on campus and what the university is doing about COVID here. I want to thank you for joining me again to talk on this subject. So,
always a pleasure to be with you, Garen.
And first off, I want to talk a little bit later about where we are as a campus with COVID. But one of the things that the university has been doing and has been doing since we got back was sentinel testing, and it's a random test to kind of get, I guess, explain to us a little bit what it is, because it's random testing of people that aren't sick or are sick or whatever, but it's to get information about COVID, right?
Correct. So the sentinel testing program is part of the GuideSafe overarching program that we've been participating in ever since August. It was 3 parts. It was the return testing, which we participated in. It was the educational piece and the app, the health check app, and then the last part, third part, is sentinel testing. So the idea behind sentinel testing is that they're trying to determine if there are individuals on campus who are asymptomatic but who are infected. So this gives us a chance to sample a population on campus and determine if in fact they're walking around infected but not showing the symptoms. This then allows us to pull those individuals out, put them into an isolated setting, and get them out of what in essence is the rest of the community environment.
And of course, I'm sure there's a lot of other information that can be pulled from that as well, just looking at trends and taking a look. I mean, I'm sure a lot of that is pertinent to trying to combat COVID in general, and who, what, when, and where you're seeing this pop up.
Absolutely. So it's not just students who are being tested. We have faculty and staff who are also participating in the test. So it gives us a chance to see who the individuals are, where they're located by building, what associations they have with clubs or with organizations, what dorm they're living in. That then gives us a chance to look at that data and determine if there are any trending patterns occurring. Perhaps we may or may not have a problem in a specific dorm, or there may be an organization on campus that is showing a higher rate of infection than others. It also gives us a good idea of what the status of the campus looks like, whether we have hot spots or whether we're consistently keeping the case count down.
And what kind of numbers are you seeing in the flow there, that getting tested on a daily and weekly basis? Like, about how many people are we seeing go through the program in general?
So the idea is that the testing folks come down here once a week. They come on Thursdays. Prior to them arriving on Thursday, a random sample of between 3 and 5% of the campus community is pulled, and then those individuals receive the invitation. Now, it's not a mandatory type of activity. It's a voluntary activity. One of the things I would love to encourage your viewers is that if you do get selected, go ahead and get tested. It's not a long process. It's not as painful as most people perceive that it is. It's a fairly short process that doesn't create a lot of pain or discomfort, but it does a great deal to help us understand who may be on campus and may be infected and not know that they're infected.
And that's one of the things I know a lot of people worry about, that they've heard the rumors, and I've been tested and had the swab go all the way to the back of the throat and made the eyes water. It was not a comfortable experience, but that is not what this test is about.
No,
right?
this is a different. It's still an antigen test, but it's not as invasive as the nasopharyngeal test. This is something that kind of stays mostly within the nasal cavity. It's not all the way back into the throat, so it's a lot less intrusive.
And a quick process as well. Right. You know, you're kind of in and out, so little bit of time on your part if you take part in this.
It'll probably take longer for you to drive over to the Elm Street gym, get out of your car, walk up the steps, and enter the building than it will to actually conduct the test.
And of course, once again, you talk about we're getting this information and seeing trends, but also the university through reporting and the coronavirus website. You know, that's one of the things the university has been fairly open about what's going on campus, and that's obviously got to be a plus for the university and what's going on.
Oh yeah, so we determined very early in this process that it would be a much better position for us to be transparent about what's happening on campus, and so we've put our active case count on our coronavirus webpage every day. Dean Reeves takes care of that for us. We review those numbers weekly to determine if there are any trends that are occurring. You know, we typically have found that we've got more off-campus cases that are reported than there are on-campus cases reported. We haven't seen any real clustering activity that has come our way. We did have early on a couple of fraternities that showed a higher case count, but since that time it's been fairly well distributed, and we feel comfortable that at least we understand what the trends look like and how we can make adjustments if needed to those.
And of course, one of the things is, we're 2.5, 3 months into the semester, and of course we've been going through this all year,
right.
And there's a potential for burnout.
Yeah.
And following all these rules, that I've been wearing this mask, I've been washing my hands, I've been doing this, but the guide here is to stay the course, correct?
That is absolutely correct. We had an opportunity, Dr. Schmidt and I had a chance to talk to the student leaders on campus back in September. We asked them to help us by emphasizing to their peers that the face coverings, the social distancing, and the hand washing were important pieces to help us get to Thanksgiving. And from their perspective, that was really important to them, to keep the semester intact, to be able to continue to participate in on-campus activities, athletic events, all the things that make a college experience what it is. And so you're right, we've been doing this for quite a while now. Everyone kind of begins to develop levels of comfort, and it's easy to lose a little bit of the focus of what we're trying to do. I would definitely reinforce what you said. Continuing to wear your face mask, your face covering, not just in class, but around campus when you're around other people. Make sure you wear it in and out of buildings. Make sure you have it on in class. We're reinforcing with our faculty. Wear the face covering while you're teaching. It's just really important to maintain these really simple but effective techniques to keep the virus down. The trending numbers in Alabama have been going down. We really are in a good position. We think that that's because the state is paying attention to the simple things, the face coverings, the social distancing, and the hand washing. So yeah, I would encourage all of your viewers to continue to stay the course. Our goal is to get to Thanksgiving, right? But then coming back out of Christmas, we foresee a pretty similar environment than what we entered the fall in. We'll still have modified delivery activities within our classes. There will still be this expectation of wearing face coverings, still this expectation of distancing and so forth. I think the rule of thumb has been this: tomorrow may not look like today. So you have to be flexible. You have to have contingency plans built out, and I'm proud to really give a lot of credit to our Corona Task Force, who has worked really hard over the last 5 or 6 months to help us build plans and to build processes that have gotten us to today. That group still meets. In fact, we meet again next week to talk about the spring and the steps that need to be taken to get us ready to enter spring semester.
Well, here's hoping things do stay the course, and anybody needs information about what's going on here, troy.edu/coronavirus. I want to thank you for joining us here today, and good luck making the plan for the future. Thanks, Lance.
Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk.